No, actually, I am a big fan of those pictures because I love the way you play it so straight. I love the way. I guess the director told you it's not a comedy. Act as though this is deadly serious.
The director. The thing is that we know that we're being funny, but you can't let the audience know for 1 second that you're trying to be funny. Not for 1 second. Although I will do almost anything I can for a laugh. I said almost. I didn't say I would do anything for a laugh.
What have you got there?
Isn't that a little personal? You'd like to see it? That's what I have. There it is right there.
What the hell are you doing?
Welcome to Trimming Movie Fat, the podcast where we trim films from franchises that don't belong. I'm Stephen Nicholson, and I'm joined today by my good friends Brian Borthwick and Paul Mellon. And let me start with a question to you both. What would you guys do if you saw 5 weirdos dressed in togas stabbing a guy in the middle of the park in full view of 100 people?
Shoot the bastards, that's my policy.
Correct answer, Paul. Correct answer. We're here to discuss the classic comedies, The Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad and its 2 sequels, The Naked Gun 2.5, The Smell of Fear, and The Naked Gun 33 1/3, The Final Insult. Which are deserving of the Naked Gun name, and which should be bundled down the stairs like O.J. Simpson as Norberg? Keep listening and watching to find out. But before we dive into the films, let's rewind a bit. And The Naked Gun actually started as a short-lived TV series called Police Squad back in 1982, and it got cancelled after 6 episodes. But it was too funny to stay dead, so it did come back in movie form. Did you guys watch the Police Squad TV show? Because if I remember correctly, they showed it after. It never got originally shown here in the UK, and they only played it after The Naked Gun came out. Did you guys watch it?
I'd never really heard it before that. It's brilliant. It's just like watching the Naked Gun movie, but as a series, really, and a bit older.
I think they said it never really landed because you had to concentrate on it. And with a movie at the cinema, you're obviously focused on it, whereas with a TV show, maybe audiences in America were too distracted and they were missing all the humour. You watch it, Paul?
I did, but again, like the two of you, it was after the film came out.
Yeah.
And, I remember Leslie Nielsen, he was on Wogan, remember the chat show?
Yeah.
He was talking about Police Squad and why it was cancelled. And he did say it was because American audiences, they watch it at like tea time. So they're not really concentrating on what's going on. They just want something to just, watch without having to think about it. Quite clever wordplay as well. A lot of the programs were, apart from the usual silly sort of sight gags and physical comedy, it was like quite clever wordplay as well. Yes. He said British audiences were different because they actually watched the program, but it wasn't the same in America. That's why they cancelled it. But yeah, it was absolutely hilarious and really, really clever. The action's superb as well, which I think is vital in any comedy to make it believable. And Leslie Nielsen is just ideal deadpan. Just the perfect actor for that kind of comedy. So I think if I did it or anyone else did it, we'd just be killing ourselves laughing all the way through it because it's just so funny.
I think somebody described him as the Mona Lisa of deadpan acting. That's what makes it work, though, because obviously the Zucker, Abrahams and Zucker team, ZAZ for short, they'd already done Airplane, which is, one of the greatest comedies. Well, not just one of the greatest comedies, it's one of the greatest movies of all time. They already established themselves doing this kind of humour, and I think that's what makes it work, is you've got a lot of these people who do normal, serious acting, and actually almost like they're playing it straight in a comedy, and that's where the humour comes from. You've got these serious people still doing the serious acting, but in a comedy, and that's what makes it funny. But But I think Police Squad, it kind of really laid the groundwork for what would become the Naked and tone, you know, visual gags, wordplay, and obviously Leslie Nielsen. But yeah, I loved, I think you've mentioned it before, Paul, loved in Police Squad how then credits, they all just froze. Had to just kind of freeze, and did not have a monkey or something in one of the ones running around or something, they're all frozen, yeah.
Yeah, there's a guy who's on fire in the background, they're all standing there.
But all this goes to show is that the only real dope is the one who sells it or buys it.
So let's shoot straight into it, like Frank Drebin diving into a full human-sized condom with a look at the first movie, The Naked Gun.
In this city, there's crime on every street. But one man has seen enough. He's Lieutenant Frank Drebin.
Whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat.
He's a good cop who's having a bad day. His best friend
Everyone should have a friend like you.
is in a coma.
As soon as Nordberg is better, he's welcome back at Police Squad. But I wouldn't wait until the last minute to fill out those organ donor cards.
His girlfriend asked him to look her up.
Nice beaver.
Thank you. I just had it stuffed.
Let me help you with that.
And his city is in the hands of a master criminal with a sinister plan.
I must kill the queen.
How can any police story contain this much action? This much romance?
I like cops.
Or this much baseball? Starring Leslie Nielsen, a cop who's always on the alert. Mikhail Gorbachev.
I knew it.
Queen Elizabeth, everyone's favorite queen. Priscilla Presley, a woman who really cooks.
How hot and wet do you like it?
Ricardo Montalban.
Frank!
You're both right.
George Kennedy, the partner with an appetite for danger. O.J. Simpson, as you've never seen him before. And Reggie Jackson in his first dramatic role. In a movie so big, it had to be filmed in color. The Naked Gun, from the files of Police Squad.
Coming this Christmas to a theater near you. See you then.
In the start, with Airplane. I mean, did the fan mail increase and everything?
Not really. Everything just continued. I did my job, and what's happening now with The Naked Gun, apparently, it's becoming so extraordinarily well received, and it's really as funny as Airplane. I think it's funnier, frankly. So things may change now, but I've been very happy with my life up to this point. And it doesn't make
The
any
fame
difference.
is not going to change. You're not going to turn into pompous old Leslie Nielsen, are you?
Well, I have to watch my image. I think it's
Of course.
very important, you know. I mean, I'm always associated with being, you know, a man who has a background and education, and I'm well-mannered, and, you know, I have to protect that image. Don't you think?
I think that's tremendously important. The image is terribly important to a film
Agree with
star.
me. It's very important.
It is.
Yes.
The Naked Gun was made by Jerry Zucker, Jim Abrahams, and David Zucker, the same team that made Airplane, Top Secret, and the TV series Police Squad. And as they explained in the press kit, for this movie, we ripped off Police Squad. If you've seen any of those comedies, you know the approach. The only objective is to generate as many laughs as possible at a breakneck speed, no matter how corny, how obvious, or how exaggerated. In fact, the worse, the better. You have to have the mind of a sixth grader to make these movies, and you have to have the mind of a fifth grader to enjoy them. But I guess the day I saw this movie, that was just about the level that I was operating at.
Naked Gun was released in 1988 and directed by David Zucker, and the plot for this has Frank Drebin, played by Leslie Nielsen. Another clueless police detective tries to foil a plot to turn innocent people into assassins through mind control. After his partner Norberg, played by O.J. Simpson, is shot, Frank sets out to find the culprit, leading him to business tycoon Vincent Ludwig, played by Ricardo Montalban. However, Frank has no evidence until he meets Jane Spencer, played by Priscilla Presley, Ludwig's assistant. She knows nothing about Ludwig's devious plans, but falls for Frank and agrees to help him. The movie grossed $152 million worldwide and a budget of 12, so it made over 12 times its budget. And ratings-wise, it's got an 86% fresh Rotten Tomatoes score, an 84% Rotten Tomatoes audience score, and over on IMDb, it has a 7.6 out of 10 audience rating there, and a 76 out of 100 critic metascore, so good scores all round there. Here's a fact for you. After Leslie Nielsen's death in 2010, ESPN published an obituary for Enrico Palazzo. And if you're looking for a movie mistake, in the hospital scenes, Norberg has a cast on his right arm, and his left arm is fine. And in the final scene at the stadium, Norberg's right arm is fine, and his left arm is in a cast. But you never know with these guys, it might be deliberate, yeah? Summary: The Naked Gun is loaded, chock full of gags that are goofy, unapologetically crass, and ultimately hilarious. Ryan, can remember where you first seen this movie?
Was it the Odeon on Clark Street?
Was not. It was the, whatever it was called at the time, the ABC on Lothian Road, because we were freaking out because it was a 15 certificate, and Paul, we were only 14. I remember us very nervously approaching the box office to purchase our tickets back when you bought your tickets with cash at the box office.
There'd never really been a sort of comedy movie like that. Well, that I'd ever seen, just with the visual gags and things like that, and the stupidness of it all. Amazing, and it still is an amazing film. Yeah, because it sort of set the tone for a lot of films like that as well. Like a lot of comedies, I think, are based on The Naked Gun, I think, with the same sort of stupidness and things like, even like Dumber and Dumber, it's got that sort of silliness and visual gags and stuff. Yeah, no, I love the film.
It's actually very hard to do this kind of comedy and do it right. So many movies try, and not many get it right. But I think any movie where you're crying more than once with laughter in the cinema, beat it. When did you first see it, Paul?
I actually first saw it on video because I was a 15. There's no chance of me getting in. I still look fresh faced and young. So I was on video at my mate's house, and I was just, as you said, I was crying with laughter all the way through. It was just so funny, silly, clever, everything. And I had to watch it again to catch all the ones I'd missed, all the gags, especially the gags in the background. It was just so funny. Yeah, just some immortal lines. Nice beaver, obviously, is probably the most iconic. But even like the sort of the wordplay when Nordberg's in hospital, and he's trying to tell Drebin, another guy, what actually happened.
It's me, Frank. Now, who did this to you?
I love you.
I love you too, Nordberg. Who were they?
Ship. Boat.
That's right, Nordberg, a boat. Now, when you're better, we'll go sailing together on a boat. We'll take a cruise just like last year.
Drugs.
Hey, nurse. Quick, give this man some drugs. Quick, can't you see he's in pain?
No.
Give him a shot, quickly.
No. Heroin. Heroin, Frank.
Nordberg, that's a pretty tall order. You're going to have to give me a couple of days on that one.
It's just so funny. And all the guys are waiting for him on the boat. They just load up all their guns, and you see the foot comes through the door, and eventually gets in.
I think the funniest part of that one, though, is his foot goes through the door, and then he goes in, and they've all got their guns, and he says to them, "Drop your guns!" and one guy does it. He's like, oh. And they're all looking at him, and he's, "Oh, sorry," picks up the gun again.
Police! Throw down your guns!
Brilliant. I mean, for me, this is. I think my three favourite comedy movies of all time are probably this, Airplane, and this is Spinal Tap. It's just completely my humour. As you say, the gags and dialogue just so quotable and hilarious. But
it's things like even when they're in the hospital, when Frank and Ed are saying to Norberg's wife, we're going to find out who done this. We won't stop until we find out. Right, Ed, we're going for lunch. Then there's the bit where he goes to the guy at the harbour for information. He's got the $10 for information. He's keep handing back the $10 over. Just stupid things like that. Even with when he parks his car and it crashes and he goes away and the airbags are going off. They're like, and he's shooting it. And he just turns around and sort of thinks, "Yeah, that's my car." Stupid but brilliant.
Another one which always made me laugh is when he comes back from his mission and he's coming down the stairs of the airplane and there's a podium with a microphone and he thinks it's for him and it's for Weird Al Yankovic. Then he gets to the car and obviously he's just split up with his woman. They started seeing somebody else and he's going to... Because, "What have you heard?" I went, "Oh, I've not heard much, Frank, other than about the new guy. What have you heard about the new guy?" "I don't know, not heard much other than he's an Olympic gymnast and it's the best sex she's ever had."
The bit where he's patting down, like searching the guy, but Ed's behind him. He's in Ed's pocket. He's...
Right, excuse me, ma'am. Security? All right, just relax, take it easy. Nothing's gonna happen.
Hey, I didn't do anything.
Oh, yeah? Well, how about this?
You think we were born yesterday? You didn't do anything, huh?
I've got rights. Look,
Look, Ed. He's got a picture of your wife.
Ethel.
The mic in the toilet. And then of course we've got Stephanie's driving lesson. The instructor's going, I think, "Don't worry, Stephanie," and who would not normally be doing 60 the wrong way down a one-way street.
you damn broad!
All right, Stephanie, gently extend your arm. Extend your middle finger. Very good.
It's when he first met the Barry, what's his name again?
Ludwig. Vince.
He's got the cigars, he said Cuban, he said Dutch Irish. My mother was Welsh. Or they go out on a date and they go to see Platoon. They come out pissing themselves laughing.
Or coming back to Ricardo Montalban's one where he's saying, "Oh, how much his fish are worth, is it carp or whatever it is?" And his indestructible pen, it's priceless. And Frank, right in the water. That was it. It's unbreakable unless it goes in water. Boom, straight in the fish tank. Stabs the priceless fish as well.
Development built by me. Do you have any idea what was out there just 5 years ago?
Yeah!
You bet you do.
What about when Frank slips into something more comfortable? As soon as he's going, "Can you excuse me a second? Will I go slip into something more comfortable?" Because he comes back in this black suit with a tie and the white shirt. I think it was after their date. Obviously, Priscilla Presley, who's great in this. She goes to him. He walks her home. "Can I interest you in a nightcap?" "No, I don't wear them." Song they've got was it Herman's Hermits? "I'm into something good" while they're on their date. Now, it comes up like MTV. When we used to play a song on MTV. At the end of it, it would show you the name of the song, the artist, and the record label. that's what comes up at the end of the song in the movie.
I drove down to Little Italy, and you see the Colosseum in the background. But of course, you're forgetting when that lorry full of fireworks blows up, and they're going off in the background.
All right, move on. Nothing to see here. Please disperse. Nothing to see here, please.
And what about after Frank's clearing out his desk after the Queen debacle, and Al's got or is it Ed? Has got the newspaper, and it's the front of the newspaper. Frank on top of the Queen. Photograph Frank on top of the Queen with the Queen's legs wrapped around him. And Ed's going, Queen's legs wrapped around you. And they call that journalism.
Just think the next time I shoot someone, I could be arrested. Hey, look at that. The missing evidence in the Kellner case. My God, he was innocent. He went to the chair 2 years ago, Frank. Well.
And I think coming back to the Queen as well, in the baseball stadium, when we welcome Her Majesty the Queen, she's going down the steps of the stadium, and in the kind of royal box, they've got two boys out of the denim smoking their beer and their hot dogs, people shoving them out away. And I think then later on during the game, the Queen's having to pass on hot dogs down the line to other people.
See, when the guy comes to the changing room, Enrico, 5 minutes, and he opens the door, and Frank's got the trousers down and that. Sorry, guys.
Hang on. I think the baseball ground as well, where they've got let's watch some funny baseball clips from over the years, and they're showing you some genuine ones then.
That's like the boy that's jumping at the wall and it takes his head right off.
Car comes in and runs him over. The boy's about to catch the ball. A tiger goes in and mauls him.
What about you?
I like cops.
So, what would you guys rate this movie out of 5? Because it's a 5 so easily.
We always ask. Yeah, I would say 5 as well.
Always ask the question as well. Questions: where would we rank it in the trilogy?
Yep. Number 1.
There's 3 movies. Where would you rank this? It'd be top 1 for me.
Yeah, top for me.
Okay, excellent. And I'm guessing if I ask the question, should it remain in the franchise? We're all in agreement. Absolutely, it's the best one.
Definitely.
Okay, excellent. Well, Frank's already checked out Jane's stuffed beaver.
Nice beaver.
Thank you. I just had it stuffed.
Let me help you with that.
So let's move on to his next adventure in the smell of fear.
Washington, D.C., where violence explodes every day. But America's toughest cop is pounding a new beat.
Lieutenant Drebin.
The police squad is back.
Freeze! Is this some kind of bust?
Very impressive, yes.
They're ready for action.
How you doing, Trooper?
Ready for love.
I'm lonely, I'm lost, I need someone to hold, to love.
Frank, over here.
And ready for seconds. In the movie that proves you can lead a cop to water, but you can't make him think.
The water's over there, Frank.
Starring Leslie Nielsen.
I don't recall seeing your name on the guest list. Nothing to be embarrassed about. I sometimes go by my maiden name.
If it's not dangerous, he's not interested. Priscilla Presley as the irrepressible Jane. Robert Goulet as Quentin Habsburg.
The truth hurts, doesn't it, Habsburg? Oh, sure. Maybe not as much as jumping on a bicycle with a seat missing, but it hurts.
George Kennedy as Captain Ed Hocken.
Congratulations. I understand that Edna's pregnant again.
Yes, and if I catch the guy who did it. And O.J. Simpson as Nordberg. Step on it. If you only see one movie this year, you ought to get out more often. The Naked Gun 2.5. The Smell of Fear.
Give me the strongest thing you got.
This is a sequel so big, they had to add another half.
Nielsen says the Naked Gun fans won't be disappointed by the sequel.
Oh, it's totally different in the sense that we're on a different doing different police work. You know, I mean, police work is very serious business, and but it will be as funny. That's the important thing.
I really like this picture.
I did too. I agree with you. It's not as good as Airplane. It's not as good as Top Secret.
Right.
But it's not bad either. And it is so shamelessly stupid that at times I found myself laughing twice. First at the joke, and then secondly at myself.
Right.
You know, the guy says, do you believe in taking chances? He says, every time I order out. I laughed at that, and then I thought, that's really dumb. And the whole movie is at that same... It's so dumb, it's funny.
But you know that they have worked over these
Yes,
things.
they have.
They've tried out jokes. You know, they probably killed jokes and all that. And again, I appreciate their effort. It is an effort.
Naked Gun 2.5 was released in 1991 and again directed by David Zucker. In this one, Lieutenant Frank Drebin returns for more madcap hijinks in this police procedural smoothing. Powerful energy corporations are intent on putting a halt to the eco-friendly plans of Dr. Albert S. Meinheimer, played by Richard Griffith, the new US energy czar. They scheme to replace Meinheimer with an imposter who will do their bidding. Fortunately for them, Drebin gets tangled up with their plans while trying to steal back his ex, Priscilla Presley, from her slimy new beau, Robert Goulet. So this movie grossed $192 million worldwide on a budget of $23 million, so it made more than the original, and so it made over 8 times its budget. And ratings-wise, it's got a 58% Rotten Tomatoes score and a 65% Rotten Tomatoes audience score. On IMDb, it's got a 6.9 out of 10 audience rating and a 65 out of 100 critic metascore there. So a little bit down on the first movie there. I think we'll probably agree it's maybe not quite at the same level as the first one, but we'll get to that in a moment. And here's a fact for you. The opening credit sequence ends with Zaza Gabor slapping the police car. This spoofs a 1989 incident in which Gabor was arrested for slapping a police officer and driving with an expired license. And if you want to see that for real, YouTube, because it's there. And if you're looking for a movie mistake, when Frank and Jane are trying to crack the code to stop the bomb going off, Frank's jacket is eaten by the machinery. Following scene, when he is up on the stage making a speech, he is wearing his jacket again. Somebody, The Naked Gun 2.5, The Smell of Fear, delivers a handful of moderate laughs, but overall, strained antics pale in comparison to its gut-busting predecessor. Okay, well that's the Rotten Tomatoes summary, not mine. Let's find out what we think of it. So do you remember when you guys first seen this one?
Yeah, I saw it in the cinema, and I agree with the review. It was okay, but I think after the heights of the first one, it was always going to be a hard act to follow, even just to get sort of equal to it. Never mind better. And yeah, there were some funny moments. I thought it was just a bit strained, as the review said. I was just getting near the end. I was thinking I'll get on with it. And I just heard a lot of the gags before, after seeing Police Squad and also The Naked Gun. There's some good ones though. I liked the one in the shop with the woman. Is this some kind of bust? Yes, it's very impressive. Yeah. And all the different keys in the back. You've got the house keys, factory keys, and the Florida keys. And I thought, yeah, it was good. I think if the first one had been made, it would sort of look better. But again, like sequels for other films, you know, if the first one's a classic, then it's going to be hard act to follow. I'm afraid it wasn't quite as good as the first one.
I liked it. It was not as good as the first one, obviously, but yeah, I still enjoyed it. Still got some good bits in it, good jokes and stuff.
I enjoy it as well. I think it's an excellent follow-up, really funny. This one kind of leans a little bit harder into political satire, you know, around the energy side of things, like clean energy versus big oil and so on. And you actually get the good gag around the names of the different companies, you know, their abbreviations, like one's called Kaboom, and you know, that kind of stuff, which is...
This one's probably got my favourite Naked Gun gag. when he's describing the guy.
He's Caucasian.
Caucasian?
Yeah, you know, a white guy. With a mustache, about 6'3".
An awfully big mustache.
I liked as well at the start was that when he's casing out on the roof and he falls through, like he's all like black and hairs everywhere and everything, and he just goes like that, wipes back, and he's perfect again. It's like they're all looking at him.
What's that smell?
Oh, that would be me. I've been swimming in raw sewage. I love it. I love it.
That's the signal. Let's go.
Was that the one where he's at the restaurant with Jane and she slaps him and he blocks it, both hands, and the third hand comes up and whacks him?
That's it, yeah. He's in the bar feeling sorry for himself. Give me the strongest thing you've got. The boy comes out, a big muscle boy, and he's like, on second thoughts, give me a black Russian. And the waiter just looks at the camera and is like, no. Frank and Jane are splav since the first movie, and I think obviously he talks to her for the first time.
Jane, I didn't know you lived here.
I moved here 2 years ago.
How are the children?
We didn't have any children.
Oh, yes, of course.
How was your prostate operation?
Fine. Good as new. In fact, better than ever.
The second one's the one where they're doing the artist drawing, eh? Like the policeman's doing the artist drawing, and then there's a big picture of Jane, beautiful.
Each page he turns over, she's wearing less and less. Yeah. He's like, yeah, thanks for that. Maybe you just go home now. And obviously, what's the character, the new guy, the new bad guy, Robert Gooley. But yeah, I think when Frank's talking to him.
I've been dating too. Nice girl, an author. She wrote the book on male sexual dysfunction. You've probably read it. I beg your pardon.
Frank.
Ed, that's it. Congratulations, Ed. I understand Edna's pregnant. He's going, and if I find the man who done it. Ed's got another one of the best parts in it when they're in the bar and Frank's going,
You know, sometimes I think about you and Edna. That's when I envy you, Ed, because you have someone. You have the same person every day for over 30 years. You wake up with her, you eat with her, you sleep with her, make love to the same woman. You spend every possible waking moment together. Well, I'm out running around with some 20-year-olds who just want to have a good time and cheap sex. Girls who can't say no. Girls who can't get enough. More. It's your turn now to wear the handcuffs. I just want to love, Ed.
Remember Frank's advice on boxing? All I know is never bet on the white guy. What was the other one in the bar where he's arguing with Jane? He's like,
I haven't had this much sex since I was a Boy Scout leader. I mean, at the time, I was dating a lot.
and do you remember Frank gets a last request when he's got a gun held up to him? Remember what his last request was?
Any final requests, Lieutenant? Yes. Can I have the gun? Oh, no. Not gonna fall for that one.
So again, the bad guy at the end, he kind of gets knocked off the roof of the hotel. He falls all the way down, but he's kind of hitting the canopies on the way down, and he hits the bottom canopy and kind of bounces and lands on his feet. The street below, and you see him fixing his tie. He's like, then a lion comes along and mows him.
That's like the ET scene as well. You remember when the doctor in his wheelchair is spinning about the place and with Frank's on top of him, and then he goes flying out the window and right over the moon in the wheelchair.
He certainly seems to get around marvelously.
We're also forgetting one of the best lines where the bad guy, they were trying to track him down. He lives in the red light district. Ed's he's going, why would you be living down there? And Ed's going, sex, Frank? He's like, not right now, Ed. Well, yeah, let's talk a wee bit about Priscilla Presley then. I mean, I think she was kind of criminally underrated for her comedic timing. So I don't know if she ever did anything comedy-wise beyond the Naked Gun trilogy.
She's really, well, she's good. Good now, I like her. As you say, I don't think she has ever done comedy before. Not that I remember. It's quite funny seeing, like, well, obviously being Elvis's ex-wife and things like that, to then do one of these crazy comedy films. It was quite impressive.
Yeah, let's rate the movie out of 5. So I'd give this a very solid 4.
I'd have to say 3.
Okay. Boo, boo. And where would you rank it, Paul, in this trilogy? First, second, or third for you?
Second.
Second, yeah, me too. Same for you, Bri? Would you keep it in the franchise? Would we all keep it there? We're glad it exists. Is it deserving to remain in there?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Yep.
Excellent. So let's move on then. So Frank's washed off the smell of raw sewage and he's ready for his final adventure and the final insult. Let's go.
When law-abiding citizens are forced to live in fear, we look for protection to one man. Lieutenant Frank Drebin is back. This time, he's going undercover in the big house.
Where's your prison number?
It's unlisted.
And playing the deadliest game of all.
That damn blue! Now go get your head out of my pocket!
But Police Squad desperately needs him back because a mad bomber is about to blow up Hollywood's biggest bash. And if anyone can stop him, so can Frank.
Hold on.
Sergeant Frank Drebin, Detective Lieutenant Police Squad.
Yeah, and I'm Robert De Niro.
Mr. De Niro, we've got to get inside.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to present the...
We're here to prevent a disaster.
You're too late for that.
That's the guy!
Starring Leslie Nielsen as Lieutenant Frank Drebin. Priscilla Presley as Jane. Anna Nicole Smith as Tanya. Fred Ward as Rocco.
Freeze and nobody gets hurt! Well, from now on.
Anna Nicole Smith as Tanya. George Kennedy as Ed. O.J. Simpson as Nordberg. And introducing Anna Nicole Smith as Tanya.
Have you seen my pigeon?
Naked Gun 33 1/3. The final insult. The movie that hits crime where it hurts. This picture contains mostly all new jokes. May play slightly funnier east of the Rockies.
Well, one of the great things about these Naked Gun films is how a lot of relatives will make cameos in the movies. Now, did your son want to do a cameo in this film?
He did. My son and my nephew were in it, in the grocery store with Leslie. Unfortunately, they didn't use the whole scene, and I have to present the bad news to them that they didn't make it. But they were excited. They were, they can't wait. They've told all their friends, and this is the nature of the business. Sometimes you end up on the cutting room floor, and it's going to be disappointed.
I didn't like the second Naked Gun movie so much, but I did like this one, especially for the way Leslie Nielsen stands there completely unflappable in the middle of total chaos, micromanaging all the tiniest details while completely missing the big picture.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that you thought of Leslie Nielsen during this picture. I did too, and in my newspaper review I said the same thing, that this guy isn't getting enough credit for what he does in being the straight man for these very funny jokes. And they're written, just to comment again on what you said about the dance number gag line there, they're writing smart. They assume that we'll get the jokes. They throw so many at us that if you get half of them, you're going to have a very good time.
But also, acting is just as hard if it's in a comedy as if it's in a tragedy. It may be harder.
Naked Gun 33 1/3 was released in 1994 and directed by first-time director Peter Segal. And this time, Frank Drebin is retired and spending time with his new wife. He's called back into action by Captain Ed Hawken, played by George Kennedy. A terrorist named Rocco, played by Fred Ward, plans to bomb the Academy Awards ceremony, so Frank goes undercover as Phil Donahue to try and head off disaster. He causes almost as much trouble as he prevents in an Oscar show, complete with over-the-top production numbers and numerous celebrity appearances. So this movie grossed 132 million worldwide on a budget of 30. So it made about 4.5 times its budget. And ratings-wise, it's got the lowest ratings of the three, so 58% Rotten Tomatoes score, 53% audience score there, IMDb 6.5 out of 10 audience rating, and a 63 out of 100 critic Metascore. And here's a fact for you. Courtney Cox appears briefly as one of the 5 nominees for Best Actress at the Oscar ceremony. The other actresses are named in this movie, but Courtney is not, and she does not appear in the end credits. And a movie mistake: when Frank receives his ticket at the sperm bank from the receptionist, it rotates 180 degrees in his hand between shots. In summary, courtesy of Rotten Tomatoes, Naked Gun 33 1/3, The Final Insult can't help but be sporadically funny thanks to Leslie Nielsen's dependably solid work, but it's still a steep come down from the original. What say you guys?
Yeah, I think it was pretty tired, to be honest. I liked the opening sequence, the Untouchables parody in the tram, and I liked it when Frank went to jail and he's walking out through the yard. It's like a kid's playground. They're all hanging off the bars and going down the chutes and that, and the boy pole vaults over the wall. But other than that, I mean, to be honest, I thought it was quite poor.
Right.
I thought it was quite tired.
Right.
You know, there's only so many times you can do more or less the same sight gags and the sort of speech gags, things like that. I just felt it was
You agree, Bri?
a bit contrived.
No, I like it. I thought it was good as well. That was the last one I watched. Actually, I watched it not long ago on Netflix.
Right.
I think just the whole jail. I like the whole him going to jail and stuff. What was his name again? The Slasher, or what was it? Slasher McGurk.
Slasher McGurk.
Hey, I'm Slasher McGurk. That I like. One of my favourite bits is when he breaks out with the guy and the mum picks him up in the car.
Hey, Rocco, who's the old hag? She take one in the face? She's my mother. Oh, Mr. Dillon, your son is a ruthless, sadistic, cold-blooded animal. You must be very proud of him.
I am.
Ma, I want you to make a real square egg. Nick the Slasher McGurk.
There's fresh clothes in the back.
Rocco's mom was quiet. I had a feeling she didn't care for me coming along.
In the jail when he's
Mama.
trying to hide the evidence of them escaping, he's like, "We've got the paper, he'll eat it." A guy comes past with loads of paper, they fall on, and it's everywhere, he's something to eat the lot. He's shredding it.
No, putting pasta sauce on the paper and eating it, yeah. I think that's a good scene as well. What, as you know, when they're in the prison canteen, he's kind of starting the riot, and he's something like,
Hey! You call this slop? Real slop has got chunks of things in it.
This is more like gruel. And this Chateau LeBlanc 68 is supposed to be served slightly chilled. This ain't room temperature. What do you think we are? Animals? What are we?
Homo sapiens?
yeah. I mean, I think for me, I still think this is funny. I mean, they kind of go full parody chaos in this. Well, it's not the sharpest of the three, but in its own terms, it might be the most fun. But yeah, that Untouchables prestige at the beginning is great, and I think it's Frank's reading a newspaper or pretending to read a newspaper. Just when I was rewatching it, the headline of the newspaper: "Dyslexia for cure found."
Yeah, I know, there's all wee bits like that you have to look for.
Clinic is just brilliant. Yeah,
that's Anna Nicole Smith.
and the
she's the
clinic is
receptionist.
just brilliant. The doctor kind of takes him through the back rooms there. No, obviously he's unaware it's a fertility clinic, and she's going, for, say, erectile dysfunction or whatever it might be, and the doctor's going, so when did you first notice the when did you first notice the problem? She's going,
When did you first notice the problem?
In the backyard with my uncle.
In the backyard. With your uncle?
Yes, when he comes over to visit, we like to go out in the backyard, throw it around for a while.
And what did you and your uncle find out?
Oh, I can't keep up with him. Mine hurt, especially on the long ones. I can't seem to straighten it out. It has no feeling. It's kind of numb. I may have yanked it too much, maybe.
I think by the end of the day, he's kind of coming out of the place, cigarette and big tubs handed over to the nurse.
It's like,
yeah! It's not like the first time he goes in, he's out within like 3 seconds. There you go. You hear a horse as well or something. And I think coming back to the prison bit where he's going into the prison, you guys are talking about, he does the monologue as he's going through the prison yard. Again, the monologue. After a long and generous cavity search. And I think remember how they get out of prison and they kind of go to Rocco's hideaway by the kind of the lake, and Anna Nicole Smith's waiting for the three of them. So Rocco, Drebin, and Rocco's mum, and he gets there, and Anna Nicole Smith's going, I've been waiting for you, sexy, to get here. And Frank's like, yeah, I knew you were all women. He's like, just talking to me, slasher. I knew that. What did you guys think of the whole thing with the Oscar ceremony that takes up the third act of the movie? He's Phil Donahue. He's kind of reading the autocue with Raquel Welch, and obviously they're meant to take their turns, but Frank's just reading through it. Phil, Raquel, Phil.
Yeah, not as memorable as the baseball game at the end of the first one.
Had its moments, but yeah, not as memorable. So what would you guys then rate this movie out of 5? For me, I'd give it 3.5.
I would probably give it sort of a 3.
Okay.
I'd go 3.5 as well.
So we're all putting it as thirds in our rankings, and quite happy it was made. And does it deserve to remain in the franchise? That's for me.
Yeah. Just. I just felt it was. I didn't enjoy it as much as the other two.
Yeah.
I just thought there was some funny bits, like I say, but the rest of the film, the plot and everything else was just, a bit meh. Seen it all before, so. But it was still, I still love Frank Drebin, and there's still some really good bits. But I saw overall it was quite tired.
Okay.
But I would still keep in, but only just.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, I rewatched all of these for the show, and one of the things which is quite strange now when you watch it, is obviously O.J. Simpson being in these movies. Does it kind of change how you view the
No,
movies?
it doesn't make any difference. It's still, you just think of him as Norberg, and that's it.
Doesn't make any difference to me.
We're obviously talking about these movies, and we'll get to the new one that's about to come out, but we're still talking about these movies, 30 years later? Why do you think the Naked Gun movies are so enduring? Why do people still, we still remember all the quotes from it? Why does it still work in your eyes?
Even now, there's still gags in it that you've never noticed the first time. Like you were saying, like the newspaper headline, things like that. You still finding funny parts to it, even now.
I think when the first one came out, it was probably sort of unique. A lot of people have probably seen Airplane, but this the style of acting and so it was a continuation from sort of Police Squad, and people in this country probably think it was Police Squad, and they see this film and think, "Oh right, that's actually really funny. I think I'll go watch Police Squad," and then you see where a lot of the jokes came from, and I mean a lot of it was just so silly. There's just make you laugh anyway. And yeah, of course, the quotes. I mean, that nice beaver quote, I think, will be unforgettable. That'll just last forever. Many of the other ones, all the sight gags and all the puns and everything else. And then if you watch Police Squad, the really clever wordplay, mixed in with all the sight gags and everything else. Yeah, it's really, really clever. It's daft, but at the same time, it's clever because who's going to think up things like 6'2" moustache? That's a long moustache, and or an airplane. They've taken them to the hospital. What is it? It's a place where they treat sick people, but that doesn't matter. Things like that. It's just really obvious, but you never think about it yourself until somebody else says it, and you just sort of remember it and all the side gags as well, like walking around the side of the set. Frank, instead of going through the door, go walking around the side of the set, and things like that. It's just really, really clever and memorable.
It's timing, isn't it? And I think, as you guys have said, the gags are just so fast, they're layered, they're often visual, so it does reward rewatching because you're always seeing something new every time you watch them, which is great. It's just spoof comedy at its finest. And one of the questions I normally ask in these shows is, could a series like The Naked Gun be made today? But we've actually got a requel coming out. So a requel, for those that don't know, is a sequel and a reboot at the same time. So we've got a new one coming out in 3 weeks, I think, starring Leslie Nielsen as Frank Drebin's son.
You mean Liam Neeson?
So,
Leslie Nielsen.
What did I say?
You said Leslie Nielsen. Liam Neeson.
That would be an amazing trick, wouldn't it? We'll go with Liam Neeson then. So we've had a couple of trailers. What do you guys think, and are you looking forward to it?
Have you seen the trailers? I'll go and watch it just to see what it's like, but I'm not quite convinced. I think Liam Neeson's a really good comedy actor. Seen him like Derry Girls and that Ricky Gervais show. What was it? Life's Too Short. Yeah, he's brilliant in that. He's really funny and deadpan as well. So maybe I don't think he'll quite get to the heights of Leslie Nielsen because I think he's the ultimate deadpan comedy actor. But I think Liam Neeson will probably give him a good shot. So I think it'll be worth watching just to see if it's actually any good.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it's like. Like Paul, I'll go and see. Well, I'd like to see it, but don't know if I'm convinced. Liam Neeson is like, just because Leslie Nielsen is just he is Frank Drebin, and so I don't know. It's be a strange one. It'll be a bit like the Pink Panther films when like Inspector Clouseau and Peter Sellers was always that, and then they remade it with Steve Martin. Who's good as well, but it's just not the same. I think this could go the same way. I think, but it'll be interesting to see. Is it the same guys that made the original Naked Gun? No. So yeah, I don't know.
Liam Neeson is great at deadpan, so he is funny. Doing this kind of stuff, which is a big plus. It's really good casting. But from everything I've seen in the trailers, and obviously yes, they're modernising things. Yeah, a lot of the things I'm going. I don't know if that's going to land or not. We'll see. I really, really hope it's good. I really hope it's good. But I think from what I've seen so far, put me in the concerned camp.
And the thing is, how many original jokes can they come up with for something like this? Yeah, I think the side gags have been done already. What new ones can they come up with that are still part of like the Police Squad sort of joke book, if you like? I can't see, especially the sort of visual side gags. You've probably seen them all before, especially if you watch Police Squad as well. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of things they do in the film. But yeah, I must admit, I'm not that optimistic. I hope it's funny, because I like Liam Neeson. But, yeah, I'm not sure.
It's one of these things where it's a tough one for them, because obviously it's the need to modernise things, obviously make it current, but you also need to kind of keep what made the originals funny and kind of honour what's come before as well. So it's a tough balancing act. So, well, in a few weeks we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah, well, it'd be a rehash of the first one, which I think would be a disaster on Gladiator 2 proportions. Or will it be something fresh? I'm not so sure.
We're going to find out.
Like Trimming the Movie Fat, why not check out our other podcast, Trimming the Musical Fat?
Well, gents, lovely talking to you tonight about The Naked Gun. Maybe what we actually need to do is try and go to the cinema together to see it.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so there we are. That's what we'll try and do. We'll put our money where our mouth is and go and see it.
Definitely.
Thanks for joining me tonight, gentlemen. That was good fun. Reminisce about some very funny movies. And thanks to you all for watching and listening. And we'll be back soon for another episode of Trimming the Movie Fat. And until then, keep trimming.
Trimming the Movie Fat is a Stephen and Paul Nicholson production. We'd love to hear from you. Contact us by voicemail via the Spotify link in the episode description. You can email us at trimmingthemusicfat@gmail.com. Keep up to date with the show and access exclusive content by joining our Facebook group, subscribing to our YouTube channel, and following us on TikTok. You can also check out our website at trimmingthemusicalfat.com. Thanks for listening.